Okay, artists, so this is video number 3 about landscapes. So here we have our foreground, midground, background, and a horizon line way back in the distance. So how do we draw things so that they start looking close and gradually further away? Well, if we look in our picture here, down in the foreground, we got to draw things big. Drawing them really big is going to make them look closer. So for example, let's say I wanted to draw a tree. I would draw my tree trunk. And I'm going to draw this tree pretty big because I want it to look like it's close to me. And yes, it's coming across the midground and the background, but it's actually starting growing down here in the foreground, right? So I'm going to erase these lines because my tree would be in front of them, okay? So my tree is nice and big and it's in the foreground, okay? Let's say I wanted another tree, same kind of tree, but I want it to be in the midground. I'm going to draw it just the same, but it's going to be smaller. So I have to make my trunk more narrow, and I have to make it shorter and the top smaller too. So maybe I'll put one in the midground. I'm going to put it over here, and I have to remember it can't be as tall because it's further away. So I'm going to make it a little smaller. Add that tree canopy on. That's where the leaves are up at the top. That's the canopy. Okay, so big tree in the foreground, a little smaller in the midground. Let's say I want the exact same kind of tree again, but this time it's in the background. I'm going to draw it just like I did these two, except smaller. So narrower trunk, shorter top, and smaller canopy. So I could start here. Gotta draw it a lot smaller because this one's really far away. Oh, it's gonna cover up some of my horizon line word. Well, maybe it won't. Okay, that one's a little funny, but okay, hopefully you get the point. So I'm imagining like a 30-foot tall oak tree in all of these places, but this one I have to draw big because it's closer. Coming on up to the midground, a little smaller. Background, really small. See how it's starting to create depth, and it helps make things start looking like they're going back in space.